welcome to episode 1 of my journey to create the best and most comprehensive artificial life simulation. What you are seeing here is the current state of the simulation. We have a bunch of little guys here that look like tadpoles. Let's say tadpoles. They move, they eat, they grow, they reproduce in a very simple imitation of real life evolution. It all starts with a few plants randomly placed into our world. These plants gather energy from the sun and they grow. Once they reach maturity, they use some of that energy to send a seed into the world. Once we have enough plants, it is time to introduce the crits, the true heroes of our simulation. Crits can be described using three main components. First, a few simple statistics that we can see in the bottom middle panel. Then their brain that we can see on the bottom left, more detail on that later. And then their genetic information that they will pass down to their descendants. This information consists of a chunk of 128 random bytes that represents their genes, a brain level and a stats level. For each of its stat level, the crit gets a plus or minus 1 modification to one of its stats. Which stat and which type of modification is defined by the genes. This particular crit got a minus 1 in speed, so even at full speed, it's going to be a little bit slower than all the other crits. The brain level defines how big the brain is. From the brain level and the genes, the brain is built. It is composed of input neurons and output neurons. The input neurons are chosen among the following list. And the output neurons are chosen among the following list. At first, they don't do much, but if we give them some time, some interesting species start to appear. A good example here that arrived around the 15-minute mark, we have a species which age is linked to the change of speed, so when they are very young they accelerate and reach their max speed and then stay at that max speed for most of their lives, and when they get old they slow down and basically let themselves die. We can also see that the speed is tied to their eating speed, which means that during all of their life they are eating as fast as they can, and they also have a bonus in reproductive speed, so my guess is that those are going to do really well. We are currently at the 20-minute mark and we have about 200 crits in our world. That means we are not creating any new random species, but are just letting the current ones develop. The species we were looking at is now way ahead of the other ones. It has about 10 times as many individuals as the second most numerous species. Since they are all competing for the same resource, it is likely that it will drive all other species to extinction. Five minutes later, and the prediction came true. There is only one species left. As generation follow generation, the crits are going to accumulate mutations. Once this number is high enough, a new species will be created. generation 55 we get our first species differentiation. We also notice that the brain level has been steadily declining, being around level 3 now and making its way to level 2. This is because bigger brains cost more energy. Okay, we have a nice innovation here in the brain. We can see that the taste is now the one responsible from acceleration, which means that as long as you're not tasting anything, you are going fast. But then as soon as you taste something, you stop. So see here, poof, taste something, speed goes down, so it does not rush through the food anymore. And as everyone knows, finishing your food means better chance of surviving. So this trait is getting passed down to most of the population. This concludes the first episode of the series. I hope you enjoyed it. There was a lot of information to unpack. If you have any questions, I'll be answering in the comments. Thank you for watching.